I have two goals I'd like to accomplish in this very short rant. Goal number one, share my thoughts on how the future of society might look. Goal number two, provide my credentials as to why you should listen to my ideas. Goal number one, my perspective of the future. I always start with the bad news so I can close out on a positive note. And that's what I'm going to do. Bad news on my perspective for our future. After much analysis on COVID-19 and all these Delta variants, especially this Lambda variant, which may not be able to be cured via vaccine, the bad news is I think we're fucked. But the good news, if there's one thing I know about the future, one characteristic that always gives me hope about the future, it hasn't happened yet. So we might not be fucked. And although I'm very skeptical towards authority, I don't see how getting vaccinated could hurt our chances of not being fucked. Because I don't know if vaccines will save us, but they'd be a step in the right direction, I would have to say. I'll skip all that crap. But since the great philosophers such as Socrates, Aristotle, Jesus are all gone, I resort to brilliant philosophers such as Metallica. And according to Metallica, if we don't start getting vaccinated, nothing else matters. So there's my perspective for the future. We're probably fucked, but if we all get vaccinated, we might live happily and return to normal. And my second goal, establish some credibility as why you should listen to me rant. I got to hear Cal Ripken Jr., the baseball player, speak on two occasions. One, Mr. Ripken came to Bentonville, Arkansas as a guest speaker for one of Walmart's weekend meetings. And the second time, Cal Ripken Jr. spoke at Missouri State University. Missouri State University is the college which was crazy enough to hand me a diploma. Whew. Hope I'm making them proud. But Mr. Ripken spoke with unparalleled enthusiasm about the mental and physical toughness required to sustain peak performance over a long period of time. And as I listened to Cal Ripken Jr. speak, I remember being impressed with his speaking ability. I wanted to believe Cal Ripken Jr. as he discussed how to overcome adversity. But I had also become skeptical of charismatic white males in business. So I looked up some of Cal Ripken's credentials and found he was qualified to talk on the subject of overcoming adversity and sustaining peak performance over a long career. Cal Ripken holds the record for active games played consecutively in the MLB, which is kind of a big deal. Cal Ripken Jr. played 2,632 consecutive games in Major League Baseball. So I listen when Cal Ripken Jr. talks about sustaining peak performance and health over a long career. For me, though, why am I qualified to speak on any stuff I speak about? When it comes to pandemics, I'm not a certified expert. I don't know much about science. I believe I cheated to pass the few science courses I took in school. But when it comes to mental health, aside from certified mental health professionals with real diplomas, I'm as close as you're going to get to a mental health professional. Again, I don't have a degree to prove my knowledge in the field of mental health and understanding the human brain. So I'm going to go through a quick list of books, like Spark Notes, to prove why I know what I'm talking about when it comes to mental health. Rapid fire, let's go. Change Your Brain, Change Your Life by Dr. Daniel Amen. I believe Mr. Amen was one of the first to utilize brain SPECT imaging to more accurately diagnose mental health disorders for his patients. Helped a lot of people, saved a lot of lives. Good job, Dr. Amen. Tim Tebow. I like Tim Tebow. The Autobiography of Benjamin Franklin, one of America's first geniuses, mostly self-taught, and his quest for reaching moral perfection was brilliantly laid out and executed. Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. A lot of the research done in this book and highlighted in this book has helped us change the way we see groups of people. And it helped me personally to learn techniques to not categorize a person with whatever group, race, wealth they might be a part of, and look at each individual for their uniqueness. Thank you, Malcolm. Alone by Admiral Richard Byrd. Dude spent 6 months at the South Pole in complete isolation during the Great Depression. Through trial and error, Dr. Admiral Byrd found techniques which helped him stay physically and mentally strong during torture. Give you a hint. He didn't have Facebook. The third space, probably the quickest and easiest to understand read for anyone struggling during isolation and or remote work. The Bible, regardless of one's religious preference, when I look at the state of the world, the Bible would be real good to read. Everybody should love everybody. And lastly, The Tipping Point, How Little Things Can Make a Big Difference, again by Malcolm Gladwell. The ideas discussed in The Tipping Point have not only helped me understand my own flaws as well as annoying things about all humans. But this book is basically my sole understanding and resource for predicting pandemics and the future of life with pandemics. Again, thank you, Malcolm. So again, I don't love the way the world's looking. And I'm the first one to question authority and the motives of American politicians and business leaders. But I will say, it'd be real good if we could all get vaccinated. And if you're struggling, I'm a big proponent of medication, antidepressants, anti-anxiety. But I do know some medications can have very painful side effects, so I want to propose another solution before anyone just rushes into medication. Because if you can keep from it, chess is a lot cheaper, and there are no side effects except for happiness, which is what I'm going to close out, with just a real quick bullet chess victory. Okay? There we go, there we go. All right, bullet chess, please. 60 seconds. I don't do speed chess well. But for one speed chess battle, I'll mess enemy up pretty bad. Here we go. All right, let's play black. Sure. Where are you from? Germany? Sure, Germany.